Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to the Eldritch Stronghold. I'm Mitchell. Welcome back to Lost Caverns of Ixalan spoiler season. Yesterday we got a bunch of the commander spoils. I wasn't able to do a video yesterday. I'm going to cover the ones that they spoiled today. And then I'll also provide a link in the description for the whole deck list for each of them. There's some sweet, there's really good reprints, as well as some of the new cards are pretty sweet. So let's jump right into them. First one on the left, new commander option. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce that first word, but the Smiling Flood. It's a 6 mana, 4 colorless, a green and a blue for a 6/6 Salamander Serpent. Whenever he enters the battlefield or attacks, put a flood counter on target land. That land is an island in addition to its other types for as long as it has a flood counter on it. And at the beginning of the end step, you untap each permanent you control with a counter on it. So you can put the flood counters on your own lands, make them islands. Then at the beginning of everybody's end step, they untap. That seems pretty strong, almost like a Prophet of Krufix strong. One in the middle, Miss Dancer. By the way, obviously, you guys can tell this is for the Explorer of the Deep Commander deck for Merfolks. Miss Dancer. It's another Merfolk Wizard, 5 mana, 4 colorless, and a blue for a 3/3 flyer. Other Merfolks you control have +1/+0 and have flying. And it has Encore for 7. Ripples of Potential, 2 mana, instant, proliferate, then choose any number of permanents you control that had a counter put on them this way, and those permanents phase out. This is pretty cool. It's good planeswalker protection. Somebody goes to remove your walkers or all your walkers. You cast this, proliferate all their loyalty, and then you can also phase them out so they're protected for the turn. It's pretty neat. Or all your merfolks with +1/+1 counters on. Wave Goodbye. 4 mana for a sorcery. 2 colorless, 2 blue. Return each creature without a +1/+1 counter on it to its owner's hand. One-sided ward wipe in the right deck. Bygone Marvels. 2 green for a sorcery. Descend 8. When you cast a spell, if there are 8 or more permanent cards in your graveyard, copy this spell twice, and you may choose new targets for it, or for the copies. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand, and you exile this. So for 2 mana, you get 1 permanent back. When you have 8 or more permanents in your graveyard, you get 3 things back. That's pretty nifty. Deeproot Historian, 4 mana, 3 colorless and a green. Merfolk Druid, 3/3. Merfolks and Druid cards in your graveyard have Retrace. I'm probably going to throw this in my Changeling deck. Retrace is pretty cool. Topography Tracker, 2 mana, or 3 mana, 2 colorless and a green. Creature, Merfolk Scout, she's a 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, you create a map token. If a creature you control would explore, instead it explores, then it explores again. So it's a double explore trigger. It's going to go in every explorer or Merfolk deck. Alright, over to the next one. 4 mana. It's a Merfolk Shaman. 4 mana, 3 colorless, and a green for a 4/4. Has Mentor. Whenever this creature attacks, you put a +1/+1 counter on a target attacking creature with lesser power. Oh yeah, I remember that one. Whenever a creature you control with the +1/+1 counter on it dies, draw a card. Singer of the Swift Rivers. It's a 3 mana, 1 colorless, a green, and a blue Merfolk Shaman. 3/2. Has Flash. Whenever it enters the battlefield, put a shield counter on another target creature you control. You may cast Merfolk spells as though they had Flash. Nifty tribal piece, and it has Flash protection for something. That's it for the Merfolks. Next one we'll go to is Velociraptor. Yeah, I believe that's what that says. For one of the face commanders, you got Wata, Trainer Prodigy for a red, green, and a white. You get a 1/5 human warrior with haste. For 2 colorless and a green, you can tap her. Target creature you control fights another target creature. This ability costs 2 less to activate. This targets 2 creatures you control. And if a creature you control being dealt damage causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. This is for the enraged decks. For like if a dinosaur gets, if this is dealt damage, you do X and Y. I have a Stuffy's doll deck that I like to play that's in Mardu colors, but I might switch it to Naya colors to play her because you can pay a green and have 2 of your Stuffy dolls fight, or one of your creatures fight one of your Stuffy dolls and be able to just deal direct damage that way to your opponents. Middle one, Bronze Beak Foragers. 4 mana, 3 colorless, and a white. When this enters the battlefield, for each opponent, exile up to 1 target 9-land permanent that player controls until this leaves the battlefield. This is like Grasp of Fate. It'll grab something from every player or each opponent until it leaves the battlefield. You can pay X and white, put a card with mana value X exiled with this into its owner's graveyard, and you gain X life. Oh, so you can permanently remove it, or at least put it back in their graveyard from under this. And you gain... That's pretty good. That's pretty cool. Curious Altosaur. 4 mana, 3 colorless, and a green for a 2/5 dinosaur, Vigilance and Reach. Whenever a dinosaur you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Sweet and simple. Good tribal piece. Dinosaur Egg. It says Dinosaur Egg, and it's be good for Atla automatically. 2 mana for a 0/3 Dinosaur Egg, Evolve. Whenever Dinosaur Egg dies, you may discover X, where X is its toughness. Straight away, you pay 2 mana. If it dies, you're getting a 3 CMC spell off the top of your library. But yeah, this thing can just get pretty big, and then you're discovering for more. From the Rubble. 6 mana, 4 colorless, and 2 white for an enchantment. As From the Rubble enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. At the beginning of your end step, return target creature card of the chosen type from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. This thing's pretty sweet. I'll probably put this in my Changeling to give it a try. But 6 mana is a lot, but recurring a creature every end step is pretty cool. Every one of your end steps. Looks like we got another creature type rock, 3 colorless that enters the battlefield to choose a creature type. You can tap it to add 1 mana of any color, or you can tap the next spell of the chosen type you cast this turn and be cast though it had flash. It's a flash enabler on a mana rock for tribals. It's pretty cool. Ooh, this thing looks sweet. Scion of Calamity. 5 mana, 3 colorless, 2 green for a 5/5 dinosaur with Myriad. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, destroy target artifact or enchantment that player controls. So when this thing attacks, each opponent's going to get a copy of this. And then if it deals damage to one of them, then you get to destroy artifacts and enchantments that pretty much one of each of your opponents controls. Sunfurled Imitator. 3 mana, 2 colorless, and a green for a 3/3 dinosaur. Whenever it attacks, you may have it become a copy of another target dinosaur you control, except its name is Sunfurled Imitator and has this ability. I believe there's another dinosaur from the first Ixalan that does something like this, Skin Shifter or whatever. So they could be a nice little pairing. I think they're both 3 mana. Wrathful Raptors, 5 mana, 4 colors, and a red for a dinosaur 5/5 with trample. Whenever a dinosaur you control is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to any target that isn't a dinosaur. It's a Stuffy doll dinosaurs. Pretty cool. Fitting for the commander. Moving on to the next commander deck, Blood Rites. Carmen Cruel Sky Marcher. 5 mana, 3 colorless, a white and a black. For a 2/2 vampire soldier. Has flying. Whenever a player sacrifices a permanent, put a +1/+1 counter on Carmen, and you gain 1 life. Whenever she attacks, return up to 1 target permanent card with mana value less than or equal to Carmen's power from your graveyard to the battlefield. Pretty cool. Vampire Tribal Commander. Well, I guess she don't have to actually be just Vampire Tribal, but she's for the precon. Charismatic Conqueror. 1 and a white. Vampire Soldier. Vigilance 2/2. Whenever an artifact or creature enters the battlefield untapped and under an opponent's control, they may tap that permanent. If they don't, you create a 1/1 white vampire creature token with lifelink. I've seen talk around this card. A couple buddies of mine talked about it for CDH. Somebody plays Dockside or something. They get all them treasures. They either tap the treasures or you're going to get a bunch of vampires. Could matter in the right deck. Might not be that impactful as we think. Next card, Elendros Hierophant. 3 mana, 2 colorless, and a white. Vampire Cleric, 1/1. Has flying. Whenever you gain life, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. Whenever this dies, create a X 1/1 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink, where X is its power. Doing what vampires do and creating more vampires. Next card, X and 2 white for an enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, you create X 1/1 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink. At the beginning of your upkeep, if your devotion to white and black is 7 or greater, create a 4/3 white and black vampire demon creature token with flying. That's pretty cool. I haven't read Devotion in a while. Redemption Choir. 2 colorless, 2 white. For Vampire Cleric, 3/3 lifelink. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, return target permanent card with 3 lists from your graveyard to the battlefield. Recursion is always nice. Dust Legion Surgeon. 2 mana, colorless and a black for a 2/2 Vampire Soldier. Menace. Pay 1 and a black, sacrifice it. Each non-token vampire creature you control gains persistence to the end of the turn. So it protects them all, they all die, and they come back with -1/-1 counter on them. More recursions, always nice. Master of Dark Rites. Love the artwork on this card. 1 black mana for Vampire Cleric, 1/1. You can tap it, sacrifice another creature, add 3 black. Spend this mana on to cast Vampire Clerics and or demon spells. It's pretty cool. It's a Dark Rip creature. Next card is actually an adventure spell. Promise of Acolytes. Still don't know how to pronounce that word. 2 mana, 1 colorless and 1 black for an enchantment. On the sorcery side, it's Foul Rebirth. 2 colorless and 1 black. Sorcery Adventure. Sacrifice a non-demon creature. If you do, create a 4/3 white and black vampire demon creature token with flying. And the enchantment side is at the beginning of your end step. You may sacrifice a non-demon creature. If you do, populate. Next card, Order of the Sacred Dusk. 8 mana, 6 colorless, a white and a black for Vampire Knight. Okay, but it has Convoke, so you can tap your creatures for it. It's a 5/5 flying, lifelink, and haste. Has Exalted, and other vampires you control have Exalted. That's cool. That's definitely gonna see playing vampire decks. I really like that thing. Alright, that ends the vampire deck. Next one is Commander Ahoy Mateys. The pirate one. The Face Commander. Don Adris, the Renegade. 4 mana, 1 colorless, a blue, black, and red. For a legendary creature, Vampire Pirate. Each creature you control but don't own gets +2/+2, has Menace and Death Touch, and is a pirate in addition to its other types. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell you don't own, create 2 tap treasure tokens. That's cool. That plays along with Thief size of pirates. The Indomitable. 4 mana, 2 colorless, 2 blue. Legendary artifact vehicle, Trample. It's a 6/6. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to play, you draw a card. Always nice to see that. It's Cruise for 3. You may cast the Indomitable from your graveyard as long as you control 3 or more tapped pirates and or vehicle. So as long as you're attacking with your pirates, you can cast us from the yard. You can crew your pirates for another ship. So I'm really liking all the ships we're seeing. Stormfleet Navigator, 3 mana, 2 colorless, and a blue for a 2/2 flyer. Whenever this attacks, each player reveals a top card of their library. For each non-land card revealed this way, you create a map token, then each player draws a card. Don't like that it draws everybody's cards, but it's cool. Francisco, Foul Marauder. 2 mana, 1 colorless, and a black for a bird pirate. So it's literally the bird that sits on people's shoulders. 0/1 for flying. It can't block, but whenever one or more pirates you control deal combat damage to a player, he explores, and it has partner. So you can partner with any of the other partners, or Malcolm, or Dargo is the red one. So you get a Rakdos or Demir pirates with 2 partners. The Grim Captain's Locker, so Davy Jones' Locker. 4 mana for 4 mana, 3 colors and a black for a legendary artifact. We can just tap it to surveil 1. Or you can tap it until the end of the turn. Each creature card in your graveyard gains escape 4, exile 4 cards from your graveyard. This is cool. You can surveil to put cards in your yard, and for 4 cards and 4 mana, you can cast a creature from there, or escape any card from there. Oh no, it is creatures. Yep, it's just creatures. Skeleton Crew, 4 mana, 3 colors and a black. Really cool artwork. Skeleton Pirate, 3/3. Each other creature you control that's a skeleton or pirate gets +1/+1, so it's a lord. Whenever one or more creature card leaves your graveyard, create a 2/2 black skeleton pirate creature token. And for 6 mana, you return Skeleton Crew from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So it's a recurable creature, it's a lord, and it creates creatures. It's pretty all around a great card. Broadside Bombardiers. 2 colorless and a red. Goblin Pirate. Menace Haze 2/2. Sacrifice another creature or artifact. This deals damage equal to 2+ the sacrifice permanent's mana value to any target. So it's a free... Yeah, it's a free sack outlet already. Well, I guess it has Boast. And I think, was Boast the ability where they had to attack first, I believe? Yeah, so Boast is that ability where it has to attack and you can only activate this one. So it's not an infinite sack outlet. Jim Cutter Buccaneer. 4 mana, 3 colors and a red for an Orc Pirate Artificer. 1/3. Whenever another pirate enters the battlefield under your control, create a tapped treasure token. Sucks that it's tapped, but it still generates treasures, which is cool. Treasures you control are equipments in addition to the other types, and have equipped creature gets +2/+0, equipped pirate 1, and equipped 3. So it actually turns your treasures into weapons, and they equip to pirates for cheaper. That's a really fun card. Arm Mounted Anchor. 3 colors for an equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has menace. Whenever creature deals combat damage to a player, draw 2 cards. Then discard 2 cards unless you discard a pirate card. And then equip 2. This ability costs 2 less to activate if you have 1 or fewer cards in hand. So if you're empty-handed, it equips cheaper. And that's it for the commander cards. That's all we were going to go over today. It's pretty much just the commander decks that were spoiled. And as I mentioned, I'm going to leave a link to the full deck list of each of these down below. Let me know what you guys think about the cards spoiled. Let me know which one of these decks you guys are planning on buying or upgrading, or if any of these cards help any of your other decks. And I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. See ya.